Hello, everybody. I have a very special process video for you today. I was asked by the amazing Miranda from My Scrappy Life to work with one of her brand new sketches included in her new sketchbook. This sketchbook has 10 sketches designed by Miranda, and they're lovely. I can't show you my sketch that I'm working with today. That is part of the book, but I'm showing you all the papers that I'm going to be using today, and we're going to create a layout using one of the sketches from her book. Below in the description, you're going to find a list to the sketchbook where you can purchase it and get access to all of the sketches. And you can also use my discount code, which will be also in the description box. And that will help you to save even more on the sketch. And the sketchbook is very reasonably priced. Sketches and sketchbooks are a great way to keep some lovely inspiration at your fingertips on your devices. And what I especially like is that there's no reason to go online to look for inspiration when you have a sketchbook. And that means that you're less likely to go down the scrapbooking rabbit hole that is Facebook and Instagram, and more likely to actually sit down and create something. That's just my opinion, though. Okay, so let's talk about products. What am I using today? So I'm going to work with some of the products in the cherry box from January. These products featured Doodlebug, and they had some snowflake stamps and just some really pretty embellishments. And I did create 2 projects for a cherry on top with this box, but I still have a lot more product, and it's so cute, and it matched this photo so perfectly, and I just decided that I wanted to go ahead and use it. Now I'm going to tell you my process for this layout, and I did change up the sketch a bit, which means you're not actually seeing the sketch created. I made it my own. I made it mine. So when you go ahead and flip through, you'll be able to have one more example of inspiration for the sketch. So I tore this beautiful paper. This polka dot paper is beautiful, and I had kind of been hoarding it. Now I'm just going to take my fingers and I'm kind of rough up the edges a bit. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to tuck lots of bits and bobs and fun things underneath this torn edge and create a bit of a more kind of decorative edge or fun edge on my layout. The first little bit I'm going to add to this edge is some of these branding strips and offcuts of paper. I'm doing this primarily because I want a straight edge that I can mask off, but also because it just adds more pattern and more interest to that torn edge. I'm going to be scrapbooking this photo of my niece Ella today. She is so cute. My sister snapped this photo after she had tucked her into bed, and she sent it to me, and I thought it was such a cozy, awesome, gorgeous, like winter photo. I loved it. So I went ahead and printed it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mat this photo with lots of layers and colors and patterns. The reason I stopped working on my torn edge and went back to the photo is because the next thing I want to do is some stamping on that torn edge. I don't want to stamp places that I'm just going to cover up anyway. That's just, why bother? That's a waste of my time. So I'm going to mat my photo all up exactly the way I want it to be on the page, and then I can just stamp exactly where I know it's going to show. I'm tearing edges and using scraps and building up these fun colors and patterns behind my photo to get lots of interest and texture. I'm going to stamp using Juniper Mist, Party Dress, and Drive-In. Those 3 colors of ink match this Doodlebug line perfectly. I cut a little strip of white cardstock. You can kind of see here, I'm just lining it up with my pattern paper so that it'll give the impression that the stamped images are coming out from underneath my torn edge. Now, these Sizzix stamps that were part of the cherry box are acrylic stamps, which means it's really hard to get a really good impression, especially with something like this. So I'm going to give it nice, firm, even pressure. I'm going to try to let it sit a little bit. Some of them are going to stamp perfectly. Some of them are not going to stamp perfectly. But I just know that I still have more layers that I want to add to that torn edge. So I am just going to go with it. I'm going to get the best impressions that I can with these acrylic stamps, and then at the end of the day, when I go ahead to add some buttons and stickers and other things, I'm going to cover up the stamps that are less than perfect. Most of the areas of stamping that didn't turn out great were when I tried to use the really big snowflake stamps and when I had to stamp over that masked edge. But it's okay. I did stamp onto my Misty, so I have that wonderful like stamping pad that helps me to, as much as it can, to get me a better impression with acrylic stamps. And the best advice I can give you when stamping with acrylic stamp is firm, even, constant pressure. If you have a Misty and you use a Misty, then you can stamp a couple of times and kind of get it a little bit better with that door. It wasn't going to work for me this time simply because I had that masked area and I needed to shift my paper over, which covered the hinge. So that's okay. I just went with it with my acrylic block and it did work good enough to suit me. And I love how the finished layout turned out. So I'm just moving that mask piece down, lining it up with the pattern paper, and then stamping. And you can see there's going to be a gap in the middle, and that's where my photo is going to go. Next, I'm going to pop my photo up using some Big Mama foam tape. This is a roll of foam tape that I have been working on for about 3 months. So while it does not look very big now, trust me, when you start a new roll, they're ginormous. And I will link them up in the comments below because they happen to be my favorite foam tape in the history of ever. Such a good tape. Okay, popping that up and placing it right there in the middle of my page. Off camera, I die cut and layered up and created my own letters for my title. My title is going to be So Cozy, and you're going to see me kind of move it around a little bit, trying to decide where I want it to go. I really wanted to stack it, as you can see here, and add that little bit of like typography to it. I like the way that that looks on scrapbook pages, and just the graphicness of having, you know, those words kind of in a row and split at the syllables. So I really wanted to do that. I decide that I'm going to place it down there to the right of my photo. Seemed like just a perfect spot. And then I am also going to add another little color here. This is this lovely kind of shimmer cardstock from Sizzix that was in the January cherry box. If you got that cherry box, I hope you have been loving it, and I hope that this gives you some more inspiration to go ahead and play with it some more. I don't have any more 12 by 12 papers from this kit, and that makes me happy. I'm also running out of stickers. This was such a good kit, and I'm not a huge Doodlebug fan, but this line and these colors just were perfect. They were gorgeous. So I'm going to go ahead and add some of the stickers down there. I'm going to get my title into place. When I did my design team projects for this cherry box, I used a lot of the stickers and flat embellishments, and I still had all the buttons and all the jellies and all the little acrylic words left over. So I'm going to go ahead and use those on this page. I want to create just a really small kind of accent embellishment cluster up in the top left. What I'm going to end up doing for that is to just create like a row of buttons. If you are very sewy, is that a word? If you like to sew, it would be awesome to like kind of stick these down and then punch holes and actually sew through them. I just stuck them down. I was okay with them just like that. And that is mostly because sometimes late at night when I'm scrapbooking, I get an idea, but it's late at night and I don't wanna. And so instead of like stopping the creative process and going to bed and then trying to like pick it back up in the morning because I didn't feel like sewing the night before or anything like that, I tend to just be like, you know what? It is good enough for me to put these buttons straight down on the page, and that's what I did. I'm going to use this cute little jelly embellishment. It's adorable. I ended up needing to add extra stick to this, though, because the stick that was on it didn't stick anymore. How many times can I say stick in this video? Maybe a couple more. Now that everything is in place, it's time to stick it all down, except for that gummy embellishment. You need dry adhesive, so like red line tape or something, because I'm pretty sure that they like melt. If you don't, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. A couple more teeny tiny stickers from this sticker sheet. I think I used every one of the teeny tiny snowflakes that there was as just confetti on my layout. And there we go, all done. I will link up any available products that I've used in this process video down below in the description box, as well as link up Miranda's, wow, amazing sketchbook. It's Miranda. And I hope that I will see you guys again very soon. Bye.